Ethan was enjoying his diving when he spotted a strange creature on the bottom of the sea. He wanted to get a closer look at it, so he picked it up, but that might have been a huge mistake. As soon as he touched the creature, he felt a strange tingling sensation in his fingers. At first, he did not pay much attention to it, but days after the encounter, Ethan started to feel very sick. His health began to deteriorate, and he became very nauseous and tired. He even had a fever. He was getting worried and went to see a doctor. But when the doctor heard his story, he immediately said, "This can't be true." When the doctor laid eyes on Ethan, he immediately had a very serious expression on his face. After asking him a couple of questions, he left the room and told Ethan and his girlfriend Jackie to wait there. Minutes later, he came back with shocking news. "I'm sorry, but you cannot leave this building," he said to Ethan. He was shocked, especially when a security guard came into the room and grabbed him, leading him into the elevator. "Jackie, don't let them take me away," he screamed. But there was nothing she could do. Jackie was left alone, panicking and wondering what they were going to do to her boyfriend. The doctor hadn't told her anything except that it was a matter of life and death. But why was he so sick? What were they going to do to him? But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. The first one to get to the boat wins. Ethan challenged his girlfriend Jackie, already taking a head start and sprinting towards the boat. "That's not fair, you're cheating," she exclaimed. They were on their first trip ever together, and they were having an amazing time. They had no idea that it was about to be completely ruined. Ethan and Jackie had been dating for a few months, and since they both loved to dive, they had decided to go on a diving trip in the Caribbean together. Everything had gone well until then, and they had spotted some beautiful things in the ocean. On this particular day, they had gone to one of the nearby islands to explore. It was uninhabited, but it was regularly visited by tourists like Ethan and Jackie. They had rented a little boat and anchored it a few feet from the shore. This was where the trouble began. However, they didn't feel like returning to the hotel yet, so they decided to spend a few more hours on the island. Ethan dove into the water and he kept swimming until he reached the bottom of the ocean. It wasn't that deep here because they were close to the shore, and as he looked around, he suddenly had an idea. He felt like if he wanted to impress Jackie, he needed to do something special and dive deeper. And he swam deeper into the ocean, keeping a close eye on the seabed underneath him. The further he swam from the island and their boat, the barer it became. The colorful reefs slowly became thinner until they completely disappeared, and Ethan felt like he might have made a mistake. He wasn't going to find anything special here, he realized, and he started swimming back in the direction of the boat, where Jackie was waiting for him. She had already found her crazy, random thing and had swum back to the surface, and that was when she noticed Ethan was nowhere to be seen. However, just as he was about to accept that his mission had failed, he saw something odd at the bottom of the ocean. He didn't know what it was, and he'd never seen it before. At that moment, he knew that this was it. This was how he'd impress Jackie. It was also how he would get locked up in a hospital room, but we'll get to that later. He dove right to this strange sea creature and he grabbed it, holding it tightly but carefully, making sure it wouldn't slip away from his hands while he swam back to the surface. "I'm definitely going to win this round," he yelled to his girlfriend. And yes, he indeed was going to win this round, but he was also going to regret it extremely. Before he had even come up to the surface, he felt a strange tingling sensation in his hand, the hand in which he was holding this strange creature. He should have known better at this point, but of course, he ignored the feeling. He swam up to Jackie and she showed him her treasure, which was a beautiful shell, still completely intact. "Look, isn't it beautiful?" she asked him, obviously proud of what she had found. "Wow, it really is," he told her. He waited for her to ask him what he had found. He couldn't wait to show her. When she finally laid eyes on it, she gasped. "What is that?" she asked, to which Ethan admitted that he actually had no idea. I saw it and I was immediately drawn to it, I just couldn't not pick it up, he explained, obvious lie. "Okay, you win this round," Jackie laughed. Is that true? She saw that he was really impressed by the creature he had found, and even though she didn't think it was better than her shell, she didn't want to ruin his fun. "Let's go back to the hotel, I'm getting hungry." In the following days, they both enjoyed themselves greatly. They ate delicious food, went on a couple more trips around the island, and watched beautiful sunrises and sunsets. Everything seemed perfect until one day Ethan started feeling a bit sick. He was suddenly nauseous and extremely tired. At first, they thought he had eaten something wrong and maybe gotten food poisoning, but they soon realized that probably wasn't the case. Both of them had eaten the same things, and if he was sick because of the food, why wasn't Jackie? She was feeling great, and she even went to a nearby pharmacy to get him some medicine. She urged her boyfriend to go see a doctor, but he didn't like doctors and he kept saying, "I'm fine, it will be better tomorrow, I already feel it." However, that was a lie. He only felt worse, and after a couple of days when it was obvious that the medicine wasn't working, he finally gave in. She called them a taxi and not much later, they sat in the car on their way to the doctor's office. The driver had been hesitant about letting them in his car, which he couldn't really blame him, for Ethan looked absolutely horrible. He was dripping with sweat, shivering, and he was extremely pale. And just luckily, Jackie had some extra cash on her, and as soon as the driver saw that, he didn't mind anymore. He even gave her a plastic bag, just in case Ethan became sick in his car. About 10 minutes later, they finally arrived at the doctor's office. Ethan still had no idea why he was feeling so sick, and he thought he just had caught an extreme version of the flu. Either way, he was about to find out soon enough. The couple was asked to take a seat in the waiting room until the doctor called their name, so that's what they did. As soon as the doctor walked into the waiting room and laid eyes on Ethan, he said, "Oh my, you really don't look well." Ethan couldn't even walk by himself anymore, so Jackie and the doctor helped him get up and dragged him to the doctor's office. When they had finally placed him on the bed, the doctor said, "Before I forget, my name is Dr. Matthews. Now, what happened to you, Ethan?" He asked both him and Jackie a couple of questions, and they told him everything they had done in the past few days. Dr. Matthews knew what he was looking for, and he wasn't interested in anything they had eaten or drank. He had seen more people show up at his office with the same symptoms like Ethan, and he had a feeling about what might be wrong. However, he wasn't going to tell them that just yet. After what felt like a quick interrogation, the doctor said, "Wait here, I'll be right back," and he left the room. Jackie was getting very worried now, and she put her hand on Ethan's forehead. He was burning up with a fever. Is what was happening to him? Suddenly, he returned with a security guard. "I'm sorry, but we have to keep you here for a couple of days," he said. They took Ethan and brought him to a secret room, leaving Jackie in absolute panic. Where had they taken Ethan? Was he going to be okay? However, the doctor wouldn't tell her anything. He just said that it was a matter of life and death, and Ethan needed to suffer the consequences of his own actions. She had no idea what was going on and if she would ever see her boyfriend again. As it turned out, the sea creature Ethan had found was actually a poisonous sea cucumber. The doctor quickly prescribed him the medicine he needed, and within days, Ethan was feeling like his old self again. He and Jackie enjoyed the rest of their vacation together, but they stopped picking up random things from the bottom of the ocean.